Donald Trump is weighing the possibility of getting involved in the New York City mayoral race to stop Zohran Mamdani, the Democratic Socialist, from being elected mayor of the Big Apple in the fall, which, interestingly enough, probably is the best thing that could ever happen to Zohran Mamdani as he tries to win the New York mayoral race. So let's go through the reporting and then I'll explain. So the New York Times reported this. Let me read one paragraph from it. In recent weeks, Mr. Trump has quizzed a Republican congressman and New York businessman about who in the crowded field of candidates, which includes Mayor Eric Adams and former Governor Andrew Cuomo, has the best chance of beating Mamdani. The story goes on to note that Trump has been briefed by Mark Penn, the pollster, who has long been associated with the Clintons, on the fact that it is likely Mr. Cuomo, Andrew Cuomo, former three-term governor of New York, who has the best chance of winning, and that Trump and Cuomo, who were once bitter political rivals, have spoken on the phone of late. I mean, how do you not love politics, people? Now, here's the thing. This will not work. If we were talking about the mayorship of a Republican city, Donald Trump's involvement might be a good thing, right? If Trump got behind a candidate, that might work. This is New York City. And while it's not reflexively giantly liberal, it's pretty liberal. And the idea that Donald Trump publicly or even privately working to beat the guy who won the Democratic primary because he thinks he's too far to the left does not seem like it would sit well with voters. If I was Zoran Mamdani and his team, I would do everything I could to make sure that New York Times piece was in front of every possible voter this fall. Now, what Trump is trying to do and what Mark Penn is doing and what some of these other folks are doing, they're trying to do the right thing, which is they're trying, if you want to beat Mamdani, which is they're trying to consolidate the field. Right now you have Mamdani as the Democratic nominee, Curtis Sliwa, longtime, candidate as the Republican nominee, Eric Adams, the current mayor, who got elected as a Democrat but is now running as an independent, another independent candidate who's not going to get much of the vote, and Andrew Cuomo. The problem there is the Mamdani vote, right? The anti-Mamdani vote is very fractured. There's four possible options that it can go to. You're not going to beat a Democratic candidate in a very Democratic city with the people not voting for him splitting among four people. So what you need really to have a chance of beating him is you need one candidate against him in the general election. That is clearly what the Cuomo folks are trying to do. They're trying to push polling out there that says, look, we're the only person that can beat Mamdani in a general election. Everyone else needs to get out. The thing is, I'm not sure that will work, even with Trump's involvement. Does Trump get Eric Adams out? Does Trump get Curtis Sliwa out of the race? I don't think that'll work. And I think if Trump is playing a heavy role for Andrew Cuomo, I mean, talk about Andrew Cuomo's issue in the primary was he looked too political, he looked too establishment, he looked too calculating. Well, now a guy he bashed repeatedly is terrible for America. Now he's going to talk to him and get his advice, maybe use his political power to help Andrew Cuomo, and voters are going to be fine with that? I don't think so. I do not think that will sit well with voters. If you're Andrew Cuomo, what you need is the race to narrow to you and Mamdani, get everybody else out, but not with the hidden or not so hidden hand of Donald Trump on the tiller. I just think this is a recipe for disaster, unless you're Zoran Mamdani, in which case I truly think you should be absolutely thrilled at this development. The more Donald Trump is looking like he's trying to manipulate the mayorship of New York, the better it is for the Democratic nominee. If the race is less about Mamdani and some of his controversial positions on defunding the police and on, many of the other, and Gaza, many of the other things he said about Israel, and the more it's about Donald Trump and how people don't like Donald Trump in that city, and they can vote by voting against Trump, they vote for Mamdani, that's a win for Mamdani. And for Cuomo, too political, too calculating, too conniving. Those are already things people think about him. And a story like this and a Trump's involvement, if it continues, just reinforces those things. So I think this is a great story for Zoran Mamdani, a bad one for Andrew Cuomo, and I do not think it will work. So we'll see, but amazing that Trump is thinking about involving himself in this. One favor I ask you, hit that subscribe button. You will continue to get free content like this, and I'll continue to grow as an independent news creator. Take care.